What up, raft leaders? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you an update on this construction project at Cemetery Road, right here at the corner of Princess Street. So that's Princess Street looking east. This is the intersection of Princess Street with Cemetery Road, and the last time we were here they started constructing this bridge. It's about a month ago. That's Princess Street looking west, and the contractor involved here is Avinash. So to bring you up to date on what's happening here is that this project has been going on for almost 2 years, probably more. And this contractor, as well as many more contractors, were accused of not meeting deadlines and delaying the project. So this bridge has now, been constructed but not yet completed. This is one of 2 bridges that have to be constructed here to connect Princess Street with Cemetery Road. And the last time we were here, they had started building this bridge and they had started paving the roads, but the paving had not yet been completed on the east side, that is this side. And now the paving of the road has been completed on this side, that's the east side. This side of the road has been paved. The bridge seems to have been formed and poured, that's the concrete forms, and poured. It still needs to be completed to connect it to the road on both sides. So there seems to be some progress. And of course on the other side, once they've completed connecting this bridge to this half of the road, they're gonna have to complete the bridge on the other side. So it's like 2 bridges that have to be built, and they've built 1. This side of the Cemetery Road, that's the west side of it, had been completed the last time we were here. But the other half, that is the one that's currently being used by traffic going in both directions, that side had not yet been paved, but it's now been paved. They had completed this walkway in the center. I have no idea why they put the walkway in the center, but that's the design that they've been following. And this is what it looks like looking back at the bridge. Line of houses in the distance are actually in Princess Street in Lodge. Now, the issue has been that the projects, these construction projects, have not been constructed on a timely manner. They've been construction delays, and so recently the Ministry of Public Works has been reviewing contracts given to, it's another truck going into the interior. They are the trucks that fetch mining supplies to miners in the interior. So government has been reviewing the contracts that is given out to local contractors and been revoking some of these contracts because they're not being, the construction projects are not being completed in a timely manner. This is one example, but this particular contractor, Avinash, did not get his contract revoked. For some reason, this project is still under the work of Avinash Constructing. And So that's how far we've come so far. But several other projects have been revoked. I don't know if that will result in the improvement in the timeliness, that's the speed with which these projects are being constructed. But that's the whole point. The point is that a lot of these projects are being dragged out with cost overruns, costing the taxpayers much more than the projected and estimated costs. But this is what's happening here, guys. This is how Guyana is changing. Now, this is an ongoing conversation that I'm having with some of you, particularly living abroad in places like New York and Toronto. But most of what I say in these videos is not politically motivated. Now, this might be a foreign concept to some people. Some people can't really appreciate that statement, that you could actually be living in a country and criticizing the work of the local people and the way the government is allocating resources, that is, funds. However, my job is not to please any one group or political party, or to provide evidence that I have no political bias. I'm simply telling it to you that I have no political bias. I have no dog in this fight. I didn't vote for this government, nor did I vote for the opposition in the last election. And that's all I'm going to say. Whether you like it or not, these are the facts. Right? So the fact is that a lot of the construction in Guyana is substandard, and if you've lived abroad, especially people living in Canada and the US, if you're comparing, that's Guyanese living in Canada and the US, if you're comparing what's being done in Guyana to what's the infrastructure that you have in those countries, then you understand what I mean. And that's why I don't understand people who say, for example, I make a comment in the previous video, in the last video, that the coalition government, the previous government, had planned to build a waterfront boardwalk, that is, riverfront, turn the entire riverfront in Georgetown into a boardwalk. And I have people criticizing that plan simply because part of the coalition government was controlled by the PNC, that is the People's National Congress, or the APNU. Now that for me is completely irrelevant, because if a boardwalk community is good and popular in Fort Lauderdale and Miami and Singapore, then it ought to be good and popular here in Guyana too. It has nothing to do with which political party suggested it. It was a very good plan, and it was not completed because of a change in the policies of the new government that took over. So that's the end of the section. Right, we just come to the end of that section of the road that's being constructed here. Now this road is the Sinjan Road, and it goes all the way to what we used to call the back road, but it's now being called Mandela Avenue. And so a lot of this construction continues. The last time we were here, they were filling in. Basically, they needed to widen this part of the road, so you can see they've filled in what we used to be called the parapet, fill it in with bricks, and now they have to pave the road so that it's wider on both sides. But this continues all the way to Mandela Avenue for about a mile. I see at least about a mile, I think. Yep. Well, I think it's less than a mile because I've measured it before. So from Princess Street to Mandela Avenue is about 3/4 of a mile. And this 3/4 of a mile has been under construction for the last 2 years, probably more. Right, so the point is that my criticism is not partisan, whether you like it or not. If there's something wrong, I am going to point it out. And if there's something that's good, I'm also going to highlight it. It has nothing to do with which political party is doing it.